All right, let's jump right into this explainer and really decode the massive shifts happening in the 2026 AI marketing landscape. If you've been, checking your dashboards lately, you can probably feel it. The ground beneath our feet is completely shifting. We aren't just talking about a couple of cool new tools or some passing fad here. No, we are looking at a fundamental rewrite of how we engage, capture, and actually convert our audiences. So buckle up, because we're going to break down exactly what you need to not just survive, but absolutely thrive in this new era.
We've got to start with the reality check, and it's a number that should make literally every marketer sit right up. Traditional search traffic is projected to plummet by 25% this year. I mean, that is a staggering drop. Practically speaking, the old school days of lead gen, relying on people just typing keywords into a search bar and clicking a blue link, those days are fading out faster than dial-up internet. They're being rapidly replaced by these smart conversational interactions. And if you want proof, just look at the data. 88% of marketers are already using AI on a daily basis. Let that sink in. This isn't just some shiny new toy you can sort of tack on to your existing workflow if you feel like it. It's a fundamental operating system upgrade for your entire business. AI is totally reshaping the competitive landscape. It's gone from being this fun, optional add-on to an absolute, non-negotiable driver of strategy. So, to make absolutely sure you aren't left in the dust, we've broken this explainer down into 5 critical pillars: the search shift, the rise of agentic AI, the zero-party data shift, AI content and video, and finally, human strategy. Let's kick things off with Pillar 1, the search shift, moving from SEO to GEO. This evolution is exactly where that 25% drop in search traffic is going, by the way. You can basically say goodbye to standard SEO as your only game plan and say a big hello to GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. Basically, this is the practice of structuring your content so that massive language models like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and Perplexity actually retrieve and use it. Think about it. If your content isn't optimized for these specific AI answer engines, you are essentially making yourself invisible to your customers. The contrast here is just incredibly stark. We are totally shifting away from hunting for clicks, which was the whole goal of old SEO, to building what we call entity authority. With answer engine optimization, you aren't just desperately trying to rank on page 1 anymore, you're trying to be cited as the definitive answer. You're targeting complex, real-world user questions instead of just cramming in isolated keywords. You are quite literally aiming to become the answer. So how do you actually pull this off? Well, you have to structure your content specifically for AI extraction. And it turns out, AI systems absolutely love clear hierarchical headers, your H1s, H2s, H3s, along with dedicated definition boxes for key terms and comparison tables packed with structured data. Get this, pages that organize their content using these specific formats actually see 3 to 4 times higher citation rates by AI models compared to the exact same information just buried in a massive wall of text. Make it super easy for the machine to read, and it's going to reward you with citations instead of just generic links. Moving right along to Pillar 2, the rise of agentic AI, or autonomous execution. We are officially moving way beyond basic automation here, straight into self-optimizing campaigns. Welcome to the era of the agentic AI workflow. Unlike those traditional, super rigid, rule-based bots that totally break the second a user does something even slightly unexpected, these AI agents can handle messy, variable, real-world processes. They perceive their environment, they actually reason about their goals, and they make their own judgment calls at every single step to complete multi-step actions. So the system is actually getting better over time rather than just being some set-it-and-forget-it script. To actually build these systems, we rely on what's called the WAT framework. So W stands for workflows. These are essentially plain language instructions, or SOPs. Then A is the agent, which acts as the core reasoning engine to process those instructions. And finally, T stands for tools. These are the external capabilities the agent can tap into, things like web search, website scrapers, or even PDF generators. You just give the agent the workflow, and it intelligently selects the right sequence of tools to knock the task out completely autonomously. A perfect real-world application of this, and honestly, this is the highest ROI entry point for most teams right now, is sales lead qualification. Imagine an agentic workflow that autonomously monitors your CRM data, gets triggered the moment a new lead comes in, calls up a web search tool to research the prospect's company, synthesizes everything it finds, scores the lead against your ideal customer profile, and then drafts a hyper-personalized outreach sequence. I mean, it literally collapses hours of grueling manual SDR research into mere minutes. It's a total game changer. All right, on to Pillar 3, the zero-party data shift,
which is all about consented personalization. Now, to fuel all these fancy new AI agents, we have to talk about the data itself, because the rules of the game are changing dramatically. We're entering the age of zero-party data. With third-party cookies basically going extinct and privacy controls tightening up all over the web, you just can't rely on inferred, sneaky third-party data anymore. Zero-party data is information that customers intentionally, proactively hand over to you. It provides that explicit, consent-based signal that makes AI recommendations actually feel trustworthy and super helpful, rather than, creepy and wildly inaccurate.
But here's the catch. Customers aren't just going to hand over their data for nothing, right? There has to be a real value exchange. Brands like Sephora and Old Navy are doing this brilliantly by using interactive quizzes. Sephora asked about your specific beauty traits to give you personalized product recommendations, while Old Navy uses quizzes to help you nail down your perfect clothing size. You capture their exact preferences, and in return, they get a highly personalized, genuinely valuable shopping experience. Win-win.
And when you feed that pure, explicit customer data into AI predictive models, well, you aren't just guessing anymore. You can forecast customer behavior with mind-blowing accuracy. Deploying these prediction models has actually been shown to boost purchase frequency by 35% and crank up average order value by 21%. We're talking true one-to-one engagement at scale. It's finally possible.
Let's pivot to Pillar 4, AI content and video, specifically looking at the hybrid approach.
When we look at how we actually execute creative assets at scale today, the math alone is just wild. Traditional production, that usually takes 4 to 8 weeks. AI-assisted production cuts that massive timeline down to just 10 to 14 days, all at a 60 to 70% lower cost. But, and this is an absolutely crucial distinction here, AI does not replace the creative director or the strategist. It just wipes out the 72-hour render queue and those agonizing revision cycles. It's a hybrid approach. Let the AI handle the heavy lifting of rendering and rapid iteration, while we humans focus on the actual storytelling. Looking ahead at the video trends for 2026, we're seeing this massive rise in serialized microdramas, and algorithms are now heavily favoring content retention, meaning viewers actually watching till the end, way over just pure reach. But the really huge trend right now? Multilingual first production. Using AI to synthesize broadcast-quality audio in over 40 languages unlocks completely massive new audiences. In fact, AI-driven natively produced Spanish content is nearly doubling click-through rates compared to standard English content. It's huge.
And that brings us to our final stop, Pillar 5, Human Strategy, and how this all elevates the marketer.
This final pillar really answers the biggest existential question hovering over all this crazy technology. Where exactly do we humans fit into the 2026 machine? Well, according to the Future Tech Outlook report, while AI totally accelerates the technical side of our jobs, the true differentiator for brands won't be who has the fanciest algorithm. It's going to be the intersection of culture and creativity. Brands have to be built for both machines and humans. The machine handles all the optimization and the massive scale, but the human handles the emotional connection.
I absolutely love this quote from the report. It says, "Culture is the new oil and creativity is its energy." It's such a great reminder that while technology definitely determines our scale, it's our deeply human culture that actually drives consumer desire. Emotion, culture, the messy reality of human behavior, that's what drives conceptual development, not some optimization algorithm.
And because of this, your role as a marketer is evolving in a big way. For the first time in modern history, basic, purely informational content is going to be ubiquitous and dirt cheap, which means genuine, human-centered content is about to become incredibly rare and insanely valuable. Your job isn't disappearing, it's elevating. You're shifting from being just a sheer content creator to acting as a strategic director. You're the one guiding the AI, infusing its outputs with real emotion, original insights, and an unmistakable, totally unique brand voice.
So I want to leave you with this one thought to really mull over. As we start handing over all those tedious tasks, the endless data scraping, the basic content generation, over to agentic AI, what exactly are you doing with all that freed up time? How are you actively investing in those deeply human, cultural insights that make your brand completely irreplaceable? Something to think about. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer on the future of our industry, and I will catch you in the next one.